In Bleach's a wrong card, there are many fights, but one that stands out not because of power, but because of what it reveals. Nnoitra vs Kenpachi isn't about who hits harder. At first, it looks like the two warriors who live to fight, but as the battle goes on, we see a slight difference, not in strength, but in why they fight. And once that difference is exposed, the fight stops being about winning it all. It becomes about existence. On the surface, Nnoitra and Kenpachi look like opposites. Kenpachi laughs, he smiles, he treats battle like a game. Nnoitra is bitter, violent, obsessed with proving he's the best. But beneath that, they are disturbingly similar. Both only feel alive in battle. Both of them define themselves through fighting, and both of them rather die fighting than live without meaning. The difference is what fighting gives them. Nnoitra doesn't fight for territory. He doesn't fight for loyalty. He doesn't even fight for Aizen. He fights because battle is the only place he feels real. The world offers him no salvation. Hollows aren't meant to be saved. They are meant to fight until they disappear. Strength didn't fulfill him. It made the emptiness survivable. He says it loud and clear. He wants to eat battle, breathe it, die in it. He constantly asks Kenpachi during the fight, "Are you afraid of me?" Fear isn't dominance. It's confirmation. If somebody fears him, that means his suffering mattered. Then his life wasn't silent. He doesn't fight to live. He fights so he doesn't vanish. Kenpachi is just as obsessed with battle, but for the opposite reason. He doesn't fight to justify his existence. He fights because battle feels honest. It sharpens him, excites him, makes life vivid. As the battle continues, Nnoitra gets weaker, not because he's losing, but because Kenpachi keeps coming. Every wound only sharpens him. Every hit makes him feel more alive, more excited. Nnoitra realizes strength was never supposed to look like this. Both men wear eye patches. They look the same, but they mean opposite things. Behind Nnoitra's eye patch is a hole, a lack of vision. He can't imagine a future beyond battle. He can't see a self not defined by strength, so he hardens himself instead. Armor replaces insight. Violence replaces direction. Kenpachi's eye patch hides nothing. He sees clearly, and he chooses restraint. He limits himself not to survive, but to let the fight last longer, to let resistance exist, to keep life from ending too quickly. One eye patch conceals emptiness. The other contains abundance. This fight isn't strength versus strength. It's death-oriented existence versus life-oriented existence. Nnoitra fights to die meaningfully. Kenpachi fights to live fully. They walk the same battlefield, but in opposite directions. That's why Nnoitra keeps pushing as he breaks. Because if he stops fighting, he disappears. Before his body hits the ground, he wants life gone. That was the rule. When he asks why he keeps fighting, he never says victory. He never says pride. He says he wants to die. Strength was never the point. It was how long he can stay in the moment, inside the only place he existed. So when Kenpachi turns away, that's real danger. Not the blade, pity. A fight that ends because the other man chose to stop. It means his life was optional, unseen. He stands anyway, bleeding, dragging himself forward. This isn't over. Not to win, not to live, but to make sure the ending happens inside the fight. Kenpachi finishes it, not out of dominance, not out of cruelty, because Nnoitra refused any ending that wasn't battle. And when Kenpachi walks away, well, it was fun, no speech. Life leaves his body before it hits the ground. Nnoitra and Kenpachi are mirrors. Both live for battle. Both fight many in combat. But one fights to become something, and the other fights because he already is. This is why the fight is never about power. It was about where strength comes from. Two warriors, same battlefield. Only one of them was alive before the fight started.